Great. I think one of the word it's an AI session. We have been hearing the word AI, 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 how the AI is transforming, but how is it actually being done on the ground in hospitals, in pharma, and we have to hear about it, right? So the next few sessions are focused on how AI is being adopted by hospitals and pharma companies. And next, I would like to welcome Dr. Sujoy Kar from Apollo Hospitals about the digital transformation in one of the leading chains of hospitals, Apollo, talking about the AI adoption over there. Welcome, Dr. Sujoy Kar. Over to you.
Good afternoon. I just barged into this session. I was supposed to give a post-lunch talk, but I thought you guys would be a little sleepy, and that's why I just interchanged, but much because of the fact that I'll have to go back to Hyderabad. Um, you've heard some brilliant stories from Shantanu and my colleagues from Asta and Narayana Health. At Apollo, we have been doing 7 years of this work, and I've been told to submerge this whole thing in 5 minutes. And I start with what I learned during my days at MIT, and then going across the river to the professor Clayton Christensen, who said, if you want to do disruptive innovation in any industry, you have to begin with execution. How do you go about it implementing? So you want to do any innovation in your organization, begin with execution in mind. Um, Taking that into account, we have now, with the Apollo's 20 years of data that we have been building on our own EMR system, and after consenting, we have now almost 70 AI projects ongoing at the moment, with about 60 plus partners across the world. And 20 of our solutions are now certified with Medical Device Single Audit Program, which means US FDA, Australian TGA, Brazilian Visa, Japan, and Canada. And of course, we're getting, my CEO is sitting just in front of me. If he supports, we're going to get our CE in next 2 weeks. So that's the journey that we have been doing. And you see that there are work on longitudinal progression of disease, which is like, risk scores and disease progressions for cardiac, liver, prediabetes, and others. You have images where we worked with Google, we worked with MIT, we worked something with internally to build these solutions. And then, of course, in terms of what we do in acute care and augmented pathways for all that you just saw in terms of predicting discharges, building discharge summaries. In fact, the discharge summary example that was given won us an award in International Hospital Federation last year. I'll quickly go through and skip my slides because my intent is slightly different on what I'm trying to tell here, is that irrespective of what you do at healthcare, we cannot forget about what is at the core. And the core is how you build trust. And in AI, you will have to build the trust pipeline from the algorithms to the physicians and the physicians to patients. If that pipeline is somewhere leaked, or you are not having built that pipeline, it will not work. So fundamentally, again, think about when you improve hospital function, what is that you are doing for the patient or at the last mile? The important part of the execution is you will have resistance from the doctor. And that is not a bad thing. That is actually a good thing because it helps you refine your ways by which you are doing your work streams and all that. So welcome heterogeneous perceptions in organization. Begin with a conversation with your doctors and see how do they come in at the core of these execution in that perspective. There's so much buzz about generative AI. We have possibly now 10 products that we build on the stack of the generative AI. But beware of what you are bringing in the generative AI, particularly how curated is your content. Particularly when you give the discharge summary example, I want to give our own example in this. Where are you sourcing those elements into your discharge summary from your medical records? Have a linkage for those. And the other problem with the discharge summaries, because, or for that matter, any other generative tool, is a question of hallucination and omission. We all know about it. We all go about in building tools which are better than this. But remember, you're going to face another problem of verbosity. If you have not heard about it, I'm telling you for the first time. Verbosity is an element where you are flooded with language from the generative AI, which is fluent in English, but it may not have the core soul of what you are trying to do. And in that, what happens in the hospital, that your clinicians were not so good in English, but they were creating your documents. Now they become auditor. Are our auditor good enough trained to use those generative AI component? Or are they going and reaching it to your patients, leading to harm? Think about it. The other thing that I want you to think about it is also that in any ways you should not lose or work towards the loss of autonomy for your clinicians. Clinicians have this particular conflicts with AI and machine, which we are studying at different point of ways, because at some point they might just feel that you are replacing their decision. I'll just go on my last point on how you look at integrating on the workflows. And this integration is not just about how you integrate a solution in the radiology RIS, but also look at what time of the day, who is looking at it, and what results will actually come out of it. And in that, I talk about 5+1 pillars of digital excellence. Sorry, this time is not there. You can join my classroom at IIM Calcutta, where I actually go about and one whole day session on 5+1 pillars of digital excellence. End it up with the examples of throughput optimization. And these are the blackboard writings from my IIT Kharagpur classroom, where the whole concept is that how do you address this utility and capacity constraint and build the optimization layer and then layer it with AI. It is a tough thing. There are people who are trying and do. My last slide. Whatever you do, technology will not cross compassion. Find out ways how AI enhances compassion between the dialogue between the patient and the doctor or the healthcare system. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I request Sudhanshu to facilitate our speaker. Sorry, 1 second. Meanwhile, I would like to announce the technical session by National Health Authority focused on strategy for artificial intelligence in healthcare has commenced in the boardroom closer to the lunch area. Any interested participants, we request you to go and attend the technical session. Again, it's being conducted in boardroom. Thank you.